ignore it.
Yeah, we got it.
It's maddening.
It's where my feet are.
I don't want to get mad. You're gonna go mad. Getting maddening. Hey, everybody. It's the program. Here we are on TV once again.
Wait, are we on?
Yeah, once a day, every day.
How did that happen?
We turn on the machines.
Blah, blah, blah.
Simple. And we start talking for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, mine's peeking a little. Which one am I?
It's probably fine. We're here on TV. Today is Monday because Dan is here. I had to think about it for a second. I was like, what day is it? And then I figured it out.
Oh, and here's...
oh, yeah. I don't want to be walking
schedule.
on the calendar there.
Yeah,
that
so
would
we
be
got
a bad
Dan
thing.
today, and it's Monday, and Carl's here again.
But Carl's here we're here without internet.
Whoa,
Yay.
no phones.
That means I'll be talking even more.
Yeah, we have a story about that though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
hopefully
happened to Carl on the streets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully nobody did some sort of facepalm by, on their TVs or their computers.
Or radios.
Or their radios. No!
Because I'll be talking even more.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Oh.
I think if people are tuning in again on the Mondays,
I'll just
they're ready
apologize in advance.
Well, hopefully that they're usually prepared for this kind of science topical content.
You think so? You think they're prepared emotionally?
You get it prepared. If you're not prepared emotionally for this, then
Well, if they,
brace yourselves.
if they don't know what's has been going on for the previous 2 or 3 Mondays, or
they do. Maybe the people who are watching, they're regular watchers and the marathoners too.
Right, but if this is your first episode, we're so sorry.
What's up, Peas? Do you know about the marathoners? Carl, did I ever tell you about the marathoners?
Yeah, those are joggers, right?
No, I'm talking about something else. So no.
Yeah.
No.
These
Did I ever tell you about them? Because I didn't tell you about joggers. I asked, did I ever tell you about them? Or
I don't know anything about marathons.
so I did not tell you about them.
No.
I am curious. Please tell me
You don't know
more.
about the marathoners either, Dan?
I think I know what you're talking about, but just summarize and I'll tell you if you have.
In the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I know.
It's the thing. In the future, all the kids in the world are going to be watching the program.
All of them.
Oh.
And it's going to be part of the curriculum, as it were.
Oh, man.
What was life like
The kids have been
in
watching
the world?
The kids have been watching the program now for over a month straight.
Yeah, so brilliant segue on what life
24/7.
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
they're seeing Dan 3 times a day.
Yeah. Oh.
Hi.
Per hour, but seeing
Yeah,
us
7, 14,
even
24.
more, yeah.
21. Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
they're keeping,
sometimes 4, mostly, almost usually 3.
they're keeping track of like their time, and they're marathoning the show, and they're like, oh, it's been 7 hours, and maybe it's like dinner time.
Oh,
every time
Dan's on again. What's he talking about this time? What? Mars?
Yeah.
What?
Venus? Jupiter?
I haven't talked much about Venus.
Well, anyway, before we get to the show's topic of Jupiter.
Yeah. Tell us what happened. You had
On
a terrible adventure.
Yes. I was really pumped up on spending money for this artistic pursuit. I noticed that there was a stretched canvas,
Welcome to some.
kind of like around the wood frame. What do you call that? Is that just stretched canvas
No.
thing? No, that's fine. What do you call that? Just stretched canvas?
Yeah.
Around wood frame?
Yeah. Canvas.
Yeah, so-
Canvas, yeah.
Yeah, so I saw this on the wall of the Northern, and it's just like, man, maybe I should just kind of like, I don't know, do something illustrative, to help me along, because I want to be mechanical. I want to continue to produce stuff, but I in a certain sense, it's almost like I need technology to kind of hold my hand, and metaphorically, so that I can have an illustration there, and I can just,
Were you going to paint on your wall?
no, on the canvas. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying, paint by
What
numbers.
size? What size of canvas did you get?
Oh, I don't even remember. It wasn't as big as 30 by 40, but it wasn't as
Use your
small
hands.
as
How big?
11
How
by
wide?
17. Oh, it was like at least, it was almost on the verge of 30 by 40, but it wasn't 11 by 17.
That's one of the big ones.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to
Carl's out of control.
kind of continue.
Going big, huh?
Yeah. Well,
Right off the bat, you didn't try any smaller stuff first, maybe?
Those are expensive. That was probably $40.
Yeah,
50 bucks.
22.
Really? Did you have a coupon?
Was it on sale?
It was on sale.
Excellent.
Um,
Nom, nom, nom.
We got a deal.
Yeah. I've worked with pastels before, and pastels in the.
Really? Your pastels on the
Ye-
canvas?
Well, no, not on the canvas. Like on a 11 by,
Paper?
8 by 10 sheet of paper.
Oil
whatever.
or chalk pastels?
Well, oil. And,
Okay.
And it seems to be, like a really small, like, world to put all of your content on. It's like, I need more space to kind of express myself. I went to art school for 2 years, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I never heard about this.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Studying
But-
painting?
But you had an adventure through all this. A terrible adventure.
yeah. So.
This journey.
Right. I was like all hyped up to get a projector and whatnot. I got the projector. It was in my car. $600 projector.
Oh, man.
Yes. And then I went to Joann Fabrics, and I was like, I'll just leave this phone right here, charging in my car. And when I got back to my car, one of my windows hasn't been rolling down for like 2 years or whatever, and so I was like, I saw this window down, and I was like, man, WTF. I don't even know how that window got down. 2 hours, before, when I go in and out of this car, I got this muggy, rainy sensation, and to just air out the car as I drive, I rolled down the windows, and the opposite, on the passenger side of the vehicle, the window was down, and I witnessed that before. And so I was like, okay, now I got this thing on the driver's side. But then I noticed that my driver's door was unlocked, and that didn't faze me too much. It's like, okay, well, I got to shimmy this up, just because, it's not rolling up, and I don't want to get rain inside my car. I drive to Target, and then I noticed that my cigarette USB adapter is gone.
Yeah, the cigarette things are going to go on. People are going to call them cigarette. Like, nobody uses them for cigarettes anymore.
Yeah.
But they're still called cigarette adapters. I think it's going to go on. Maybe it's going to outlive cigarettes. I think, in way into the future when nobody's smoking cigarettes anymore, and they'll be like, here's this cigarette lighter, and we can say, kids, you know what that cigarette lighter is named after?
Well,
Cigarettes. And the kids will be like, what's that?
Yeah, where were they?
Yeah.
well, it might or it might not. You got some cars now. The newer models have USB plugs right on the dash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're moving to USB, okay.
So that could be just kind of phased out like
Yeah.
every other kind of piece of technology, modern technology that
Yeah.
we know. I got to Target, and it's like, because I needed to buy something else, and it was like, oh, where's the phone? where, what the fuck, man? Where's the phone?
Yeah.
Where the fuck? You know. So
Yeah.
I went into Target wanting to call someone when I'm like, no, let's go back home.
You need your
Carl.
phone to call someone.
Yeah.
You
well,
can use their courtesy phone though.
Yeah, you can use their but to call who? You know,
You don't
it's
have the number.
almost like I needed to be at home, which I found myself to be at. You know, after I've been.
Fortunately, you live fairly
I'm
close.
guilty of driving like my car sometimes like it's the streets of San Francisco. Well, everybody in Thurston County, hopefully.
So what you're saying here is that you drive like a wacky doodle sometimes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I drove like a wacky doodle to home, you know, because but when in this capacity,
you know,
when you're-
there's a
when the
support
phone-
group for that.
Yeah, I go to Capital Recovery Center far too often, or just often enough to keep my mental
Maybe not
sanity
enough.
in check.
I go to the Dork Support Club. I go to the Dorks.
I probably
I'm a
need
dork.
to ferret that group out. 6 hours or 6
Hey,
days from now.
Let's play the dice game.
Yes.
Ooh.
What happens here? We're gonna get out a pen. We're gonna write number down on our heads between 1 and 6. We're gonna try to visualize the future and see if we can do this. Yeah, Carl's got the camera going.
You kids in the future, you might already know what with the time vortex
Yeah.
displacement devices and such.
Well, we could have just skipped ahead too.
I want to
I
get
tell you,
this marathon over.
Are the marathoners? Are you picking numbers every hour too? Maybe they are. They have to pick a different. Yeah, they're concentrating. This is also maybe in the future we're helping
You
the
know
children
what? I would keep,
visualize the future.
if I were a marathoner, I would keep the same number for a day,
Yeah.
and then count up my points. Oh,
I lost.
I'm a loser. Not only am I a dork, I'm a
lost
loser.
too.
Uh-oh. Not me. Neither.
What number did you pick?
Team Terra.
6, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
6.
Dan's team Charlie 3. I'm number 2. We gotta get some more animals to give team numbers to. I think I would like all 6 members to have.
We could award a
Animal.
number to the rat of the garage.
What number? For 5-0? Team 5-0?
Oh, is there a
Team
rat living here?
Nah, there was someone, but I want to kill that rat, so I don't want to name anything after it. I mean, even though it already has a name, I want that rat to die. So I feel bad giving it anything extra.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Since I'm a Buddhist, I'll just move on from this subject of dying back
I
to
could
my
give it a name.
pail of wool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's already got a name. It's Fibel, but still.
Fibel?
Yeah. We're
Oh,
going,
that's a great
we're
name.
going to kill Fibel if we ever find it. But it's probably
Okay.
I
really
thought
ran
it was
away.
Fifel.
Fibel.
Fibel?
It's a Fibel.
Bobo.
Well, I'll tell you
Fibel.
what. I'll hold it down. You stomp on his head. How about that?
that? I think it might have run away, but I don't really want to kill him unless it's like sticking around.
So
yeah.
I got home and it's like
You contacted the android.
well
The eye people?
the att.com to kind of shut off everything, just so that
Oh, you didn't try to call them first?
well I don't even my I don't have I don't have a landline, and I probably should.
Well, you could use the internet
20
as a
bucks.
phone.
20
you have
bucks
the
a
internet
month.
at home, right?
Yeah.
You can use your computer as a phone.
If
well-
the power goes down, your landline still works.
I
pay $15 for mine.
remember Freddie got his phone stolen, and then somehow he got it back, and then we were able to call the people that his stealer or whatever, his thief had called, and we called some of the people on the program who it was, and we're like, your friend stole the phone. Well, I don't really remember whatever came of that. And it makes me want to call Freddie, but we don't have any phones today. So I'm like, whatever
Yeah.
happened about that? Because I know we were
How many?
calling.
How many people did
We
you call?
called like 4 or 5 people that were on the. Oh, I think what happened was Freddie somehow got the list. He got the list of
Oh,
people who
yeah.
had been called or something.
Yeah.
So then, and then we called them back, and then everybody was denying it because they don't want to be a snitch or something. But I was like, well, I just want to find this stuff out, like not necessarily even get it back. It's like, people they're connected to you now, and do you have any like embarrassing information in that phone?
No,
I don't want to. You don't
believe
have to go
so.
into details about it if you do, but just.
I don't believe so. I have maybe some pictures that I snapped of the sky or
Oh God, really? Oh, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
gonna look at me like this guy's
I-
taking pictures of the sky. They're gonna go through your phone, maybe.
Yeah, we're turning the sky pictures into Homeland Security for sure.
yeah.
Wait, no, we stole his phone. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
anyway, I had it at the Safari version, or the Facebook version of Safari, or the Safari version of Facebook, whatever. The web browser.
Yeah,
rather
Safari.
than the mobile device.
Okay.
Written for the phone. And I don't know what was more dead giveaway more. I could have probably covered it with like a couple of like shirts or whatever that I have in the car, but I wasn't really thinking too clearly.
How much was that phone?
$99. It's
With a plan.
4S with a
With a
plan.
plan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 4S, and so it's not really that hard to replace. But the phone has part of it that they probably should have. They probably would have shut it off 5 seconds after they got their hands on it, though. But I tried,
So it's not trackable?
right, it's not trackable, but it wouldn't be trackable even then because I have like an app that limits bandwidth. Like say you get like a giant picture through your phone.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay for that data to come through the phone. You want to have it like shrunk down, like blurred out or whatever, or
Reduced in pixel size, whatever.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, just so that you're not spending gobs of data on an image that comes through the phone.
I pay a flat fee in my phone for all images, regardless of their size.
Right. Well, regardless, that piece of app, that piece of technology, kind of disables GPS functioning,
Oh.
which is kind of problematic. I could
Now,
talk about other things.
does
of
it
the
cost
phone.
you more to send and receive large pictures, large images?
Oh, yeah, it does. I was on an expanded plan back when Jennifer was alive because, the Wi-Fi down at Capital Recovery Center is kind of wonky, and, it's like Jennifer wants to connect to the internet and some other people want to connect to the internet, and so being the charitable person that I am, I offered Wi-Fi service to a couple of different people at various times and whatnot.
Portable Wi-Fi, yeah.
What was your question?
So so and then you went back into the store and then
Forgot.
you
I'm
couldn't do
sorry.
anything about it. I guess
I'm
at that
sorry
point.
too.
Did you try to tell anybody? Did you try mall security?
No, I just kind of walked with my tail between my hind legs, basically. The
You know,
I
you know,
had
I would-
a laptop that was taken from my car too, but
I would call them. I would
Oh,
call them all
info time.
security.
Or the phone, at least call your phone number.
Now it's info time.
here are answers to some frequently asked questions about the program. You're watching it right now. It's called Your Daily Hour with Me. It's a call-in television talk show on the radio that's recorded right here in Thurston County every day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. It airs every night on Channel 22 at 11:30 p.m. and 2 a.m. on Low Power FM at 2 a.m. Each episode broadcast a week after it was taped, so you're watching this at 11:30 p.m. This episode taped the same weekday of the previous week. If you're watching this at 2 a.m., this episode taped the same day of the month of the previous year. You could also watch any episode of the program on YouTube.com. Anyone could come on the program, especially you. We rely on the community for content, so give us a call at this number and leave a message. We'll call you back on the next episode. Thanks for watching or tuning in. And
You
now
did
back
that
to the
really
program.
well. You
I-
did. You
I-
really
I-
did that well.
I keep on noticing that there's a hurdle to jump over, and I need to keep on jumping over it.
Yeah, I mean, Carl says every day he's gotten some practice in.
360-836-4384 is the number, but don't call us because we have no Wi-Fi.
It's
So
008
Listen.
dog.
Listen, the reason you want to call them all security and just report it, let's pretend for a moment that this person not only hit your vehicle but several others en route.
I'm
Then
not
he
that
got a
good of a
bunch.
guy to report a bad guy.
Well,
No.
so you report it, and let's say a week from now, a month from now, through somebody else's stolen item that they figured out who it was,
Oh,
they catch them, you get your phone back.
You could do it. Maybe.
probably. Yeah.
Surely it must not be that much effort to call and report.
Is it Carl? I actually.
You can
probably,
do it.
You asking yourself
Could-
questions.
Carl, make that call.
Now I'm having conversations with myself, and I'm not on Facebook. Ugh.
Well, you're not going to get back on there for a while.
Carl, make that call to the security person at the mall.
Well, it happened around 8 o'clock at night. You know.
Oh, that late, huh?
Yeah, that late. And
So-
This was today.
this was today.
Oh.
And so it's like, yeah, I got out of and the Staples is the one that had this $600 projector that I want to project images onto canvas and you know do a
Well,
you know,
thank God you still have your art.
well some sort of paint by numbers, or I don't probably it's probably not fair to distill what I'm trying to do by paint by numbers, but I do want to be able to kind of churn stuff out, and so you know if I can do correct embellishments, you know, as an artist can, anyway, yeah, I don't know. How
You
much
don't
more
know.
of this phone we're gonna, talk about?
Do you feel like
I can tell you all about Jupiter.
yeah, it's Jupiter Day. That's the theme today. If we were gonna get back into that stuff, this is all other stuff. But we've been doing the theme days, and we picked out Jupiter because I think I said it looks like it's a Monday, and some of the other days we picked out randomly from Mondays. So this one is
What's tomorrow?
Canada Day.
Oh.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about that.
Oh,
with
you gotta call me. Call me. When are you doing the program tomorrow?
Probably same time ish.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
home. I'll be home a little after 10. Call me.
Yeah, but we put Jupiter Day specifically for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like when I was writing we were thinking of themes, and I'm like, oh, it's a Monday. Should probably do some kind of thing that.
On Canada Day, I'm going to work in all kinds of Canadian wear.
Yeah, maybe we should talk a little bit about Canada Day, even though it's tomorrow. I guess me and Carl will talk about our association with Canada. But you're actually are you a Canadian? Do you say that?
Yes.
Say.
Yeah.
You're an immigrant.
No, I'm a dual citizen.
So does that not kind of being an immigrant?
I was an American citizen when I was born.
Oh, okay.
So.
I'm
Well,
sure.
You were born in the States, sir?
Nope. Canada.
But you already a
my
citizen?
parents were American citizens, and therefore I am. That's
Oh.
the rules.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the
We wanna keep-
rules.
Our
I'm,
citizens.
I'm somewhat sure that I'm, that I'll be able to get a phone tomorrow. It's somewhat tentative, and you can't really do that about the past or the future and do this kind of prediction-minded stuff. But I'm gonna
You can predict that.
tap my finger into the future.
You have a plan,
So-
is what you say.
sometimes
It's a plan.
Well, yeah, the plan, but sometimes the plan
Plans are
kinda
plans
gets
are
out of sync.
plans are kind of like predicting the future, because you can predict things. Like you can say, I predict the next thing you're gonna say. You're like, I'm gonna say the
Well,
number one.
Yeah, it's a prediction, and it's most
One.
likely going to happen because you're going to go do it. You're
Yeah,
going to make it happen.
It's
You're
literally more than a
motivated.
prediction. Like, I predict that I'm gonna, wake up tomorrow. Hopefully, I guess I'm jinxing myself that I'm gonna die in my sleep. I guess.
What?
well, I
I don't
didn't-
believe in jinxing.
Yeah, well, that's good. Neither do I. Otherwise, I'd be, freaked out to say I might die in my sleep tonight, or I'm gonna stay alive tonight. I'm gonna tell
You know
everybody-
what? You know what? When people say that, I hear people say that. Oh, don't say that. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And I think, what? Okay, are you telling me that you believe my words have magic power?
I'm gonna. Yeah, next time somebody says that kind of thing, next time
Magic power over.
next time they say knock on wood, they say I'm gonna say good thing that you're not dead. And then they're gonna be like, they're like, you've just killed me.
I'm glad that you are alive
Yeah.
today.
So if that's what a
Most
jinx
people
is.
would be happy to hear you say that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're alive.
You gotta say it right after a jinx.
How about that?
After
See?
somebody brings
and
up
I mean
jinxing.
it. I mean it too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you were alive, Kenny.
After I'm glad also.
Yep.
But if somebody brings up jinxes, you can.
But
say
if I
that and
add
freak them out.
the part underneath, I'm glad that you're alive. That you didn't die last night. I'm very glad.
Glad you're not dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jupiter Day.
Jupiter.
It's when I think of Jupiter, it's a big planet.
Yeah, it's big.
It's got it's the biggest.
Yep.
It's got the storm.
yeah,
Yep.
The eye.
600, 500 years old.
At least, and they only say that because that's
That's
when Galileo first spotted it. It may have existed for thousands of years.
Yeah, that's what I kind of.
But he had the first telescope, and he was the first one that said, "Hey, what's that?"
So you can see Jupiter
Did he
From-
use that exact
with
words?
regular telescopes.
You can see it with a naked eye, the
Did-
bare, naked, nude eye.
Yeah, but you can
Yeah.
see it like well with a telescope though.
Oh yeah.
If you look into a telescope, you
Yeah,
can
I have a telescope. You can see the disc. You can see the little dot.
Is it like?
You can see the four-
Did he use those exact words? What?
Is it?
Yes, yes,
You
he
can
did.
see, you can see the planet with the telescope.
Yeah, the telescope. It depends on the size of the telescope. If you have at least a 4-inch mirror or 4-inch lens,
Yeah.
you can make out the disc. It's about as big as a holding a dime out.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah, so it's not quite as big as the moon. Looking at the moon, when you see the moon, it's
Yeah.
about half that big or so.
That's pretty
And
crazy though.
you see the 4 or 3 moons: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto.
Did,
And the other ones are way too small to be able to see. They're just little tiny guys.
did Galileo name the planets or somebody else? Somebody else? Who named the
Truly, I don't know. I think Jupiter had a name, but at the time that Galileo spotted the moons, they didn't believe, they believed that Jupiter orbited the Earth and the Sun orbited the Earth.
planets?
And here he had telescopic evidence to show that there were other things orbiting something else, that not everything revolved around the Earth. Here we have these little moons going around Jupiter that are orbiting Jupiter, not
Do-
the Earth.
Do other countries call the planets the same thing?
Yeah. There's an international organization that does the official name, so everyone's on the same page.
Because the moon and the sun have different names in other languages.
Oh
right?
yeah, because they've been ever present, and there are different names for the planets in the things.
There
but,
are other countries that have different names for the planets.
well, yeah, in their language. I mean, Jupiter in French is Jove. I don't know.
It's not
Something.
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Yeah, it's not
It is
Jupiter.
Jupiter. That is how they pronounce it in the France.
So,
You bastards.
Jupiter or something. Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird that they call that stuff. It's like Deutschland.
Yeah.
You were talking about the naming of the moons. And
Okay. So
Wait a
all
minute.
the stuff that we can see with our eyes got their own names from every different culture that has existed.
But Carl named them, right? Not
Yeah,
Carl Sagan, right?
Carl Sagan named the planets. Yeah, let's play the dice
No.
game.
Yeah.
Let's hold this on this Jupiter. This thoughts
Okay.
about Jupiter here. We're gonna play the dice game. Here it goes.
Okay, are you ready?
Hey, look, we've made it halfway through the program.
Drum roll, please.
There it goes.
3. Oh no. 4. Another 4. 1. We're all total complete losers so far.
Yep. Losers.
Complete losers.
I have a 2.
Say the yeah.
Okay. So So when we started, when more and more telescopes started being built, because Galileo built the first one, and everyone was like, "How'd you do that? How'd you make that?" And they were making glass way back then, and it's like you just have this lens shape, and then you have this other thing, and you change the focal length and get it on there, and then you can see.
Carl Sagan is magic.
Nope.
I don't know what you're talking about yet.
He wasn't alive then, Carl.
Yeah.
We're
So-
still in
So
Copernicus age.
So what has happened is it took 100 years about before there was a large collection of astronomers, people with telescope. These are like professors and stuff that have a telescope, and they're seeing all this stuff, and they all get together and they talk and they exchange information through letters. And this guy's like, "Oh, I was looking at this and I saw this stuff, and you should look over there," right? Because the entire sky is all gridded out, right? You can tell anyone in the world, because it's all 0 is right here, and 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and it goes 24 hours around. And so anywhere in the world that you are, someone can say 24 hours and 32 minutes, and that is a position on the dial of the equator. It goes around in a dial. And then you can say it is minus 14 degrees, and then, okay, so you got this disc here, and you go down 14 degrees. You know, you do a 14-degree angle. 45 degrees, you can go all the way down to 90, you can go up to 90. So Sirius is
Are you
I don't
really?
remember. 11.
Are you
it's
really?
11 hours, 15 minutes, and 32 seconds, and plus 11 degrees. Right? It's just above the ecliptic, just
I'm
above
never
the
serious.
equatorial plane. Okay, so where was I? Why am I talking about this? Well, anyway, telescopes and these guys. So eventually they started having meetings. And what they want to do is make sure that they were all on the same page, that they were all agreed on okay, you saw this and you saw this and you saw this and you got pictures and stuff like this. And when they started discovering all these things, all these new things that they had never seen before, they had to give them names of some kind. And so they started a naming system, and with regards to the moons of Jupiter, tons of moons. Saturn, tons and tons of moons. Saturn has way more moons than Jupiter.
How many?
Jupiter has 67.
67? Really?
Yeah.
But then some of them are not as major as the other ones, right? Is that
Yeah,
how
it's got 4 great big ones, and then a big pile of little rocky balls of ice.
Okay, so the 4 main, because I've heard they only had like 4 or something. That's what I thought. But
The Galilean ones. He was the first one. He was the discoverer of those moons.
so the other ones are too small to notice for him.
Well, you can't the telescope he had, you couldn't see the other ones. He might have been able to see Enceladus because it's fairly white. It's like white ice, but most of them are fairly bright because they're made out of snow ice. White snowy ice.
Is it certain that there won't be like a 70th moon that will be discovered?
Oh, isn't that how he saw?
Oh, it's all that's entirely possible. They may find some little hunk of rock 100 miles in diameter.
Oh,
50
okay.
miles, 25 miles in diameter. It's orbiting in some weird far orbit.
But he saw the moons around Jupiter, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
how he decided that the Earth was? What are they called? Geo.
Well, what happened is Galileo made this discovery. He wrote down. He saw the phases of Venus, right? Because the moon has phases, Venus has phases, Jupiter had a phase, Mars had phases. I think he looked at Mars. I think, and the top was white and the bottom was white, like the two polar caps. And he realized that these were spheres. And what else? He made a bunch of other kinds of discoveries, and it went against what the church dogma said. The Old Testament, if you read the Old Testament and take it fairly literally, not absolutely literally, but fairly literally, Earth is referred to as the foundation. Foundations don't move. They talk about the corners of the Earth. That's what they literally meant. The Earth had corners. The idea that God can see everything all at once is not because God can see through the Earth to the other side. They didn't believe it was round. That he could scan the whole landscape and it was kind of rounded, but it was flat. So this is where you hear about the flat Earth and falling off the edge of the Earth and this sort of thing. It's Old Testament. That was a common belief up until 300-400 years ago. 400 years ago when Columbus discovered America and they realized, oh, it's a big round ball.
Well, there's a flat Earth society that still exists.
Yes. Dullards.
Anyway,
Dullard.
Where are they?
These are people that just they're absolutists. They're fundamentalist absolutists.
They're super Christians, though?
Super Christians. They believe in the literal translation of the Bible.
But they didn't try to go on a plane or something?
I don't know. They're just dumb.
But
I think it's a joke. It must be a joke. I mean, you can't. You can deny a lot of stuff, but that's really denying a lot of reality to maintain that kind of belief.
Well, I can believe that
maybe
they
science
believe
is total fraud just in itself. You know, I haven't done these experiments myself, and maybe what they're teaching you in school and trying to do all this stuff, maybe we're, in a
I have a telescope.
Kind of bubble.
If at some point you're over, get it out and you can see Jupiter.
Yeah.
It's up. It's straight up there. It's very high up in the sky.
Every day?
Every night.
I mean, you don't have to wait for a certain time?
Well, for it to get dark.
I can believe that they
it's
believe that,
goes that way.
Can you, if you look up in the
There's
sky,
a
can you see
planet.
Mars
Jupiter?
is up there too.
Can you see Jupiter all the time, just with your eyes
No.
when you look up?
No, not all the time, no. Sometimes we're on the opposite side of the sun. The Earth takes a year to go around. Jupiter takes 11 to go around. And the sun's right here. And if Jupiter's up over here and we're over here in our orbit, Jupiter, it's really close to the sun
They can
and
tell
the
you
sun's
about it,
in the way.
right.
You can look it up on the internet or something, and the internet will tell you if you can see Jupiter or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about right now? Can you see Jupiter? We'll go outside and look up.
Yep. If there's no clouds, yeah, I'll point it out. And Mars is up there too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But I can believe that they believe that the planet is flat.
Yeah. Well, they
Seems
also
flat.
believe that the stars were
Flat Earth.
actually meteors that were attached to the firmament, which is a curtain.
What?
Yeah, it's a curtain. Okay.
Right.
And they built the Tower of Babel to be able to get up to the heavens.
Oh man. Oh.
And God got mad because they would have reached the heavens.
Oh well, yes, of course.
Yeah, that's a fun.
The Earth
That's a
seems
fun
pretty
thing.
flat.
Yeah.
You know, that when you look at the Earth,
Sure.
if you're standing there,
Any sailor would know that the ocean is not really flat. They just don't want to go too far because it gets going down. Because you can be in a ship and they would never sail farther than what they could see of the land. The land had to be on the horizon. somewhere on the horizon. Because if they lost track of the horizon, they felt that they would fall off because the Earth, has corners.
So is that why nobody
And
went
it
on
has
the
ends.
people didn't get in the ocean for a long time? Is that what happened?
They never ventured very far.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
the Vikings, on the other hand,
Commercial break.
they
Commercial
had
break.
all kinds of explorations. They found Iceland, and then from there, Greenland, and then from there, America.
New Moon Cafe, yum.
Dance Only Dance.
Dancing.
Dance Only Dance. Live TV dance party. First Friday of each month, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Come on, people, get sweaty.
Studio A.
Or
440
something.
Yager Way. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a sad story if the $600 projector was also taken? Yeah, like right after I bought it.
You got it at Staples or something?
Yeah, Staples, and they closed right at 8 o'clock, and I was just leaving as they shut the gates
Coming up on the next episode of Your Day Hour with me.
at 11:30 p.m.
Hey, coming up tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, it's a commercial.
of the program.
It's Canada Day.
You can call us at 360-836-4384.
Poutine, hockey, Mounties, mooses,
What's poutine?
gravy on fries.
Ew.
Delicious. 11:30 p.m. and 2 a.m. on your TCTV.
Carl will go.
Channel 22.
Carl will eat meat for gravy.
Bathroom,
Uh,
bathroom.
A little bit.
Something, something, and something.
Predictions
Predictions.
next week.
Next week.
We have to make predictions?
Next week is predictions day. Next Monday is predictions.
Oh, excellent.
Heights of March time.
Tomorrow is Canada Day.
Whatever.
Wednesday is going to be Lighting Fixtures Day. And then after that is Bacteria Day.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be the 4th of July special here. And then summer. Then barbecues. Then predictions. Then cement, graves, hunting / ghosts, Jello, and the alphabet. Those are our
Themes.
themes, yeah, for the next couple of weeks here.
Jello.
Jello, yeah.
Okay, so Jupiter is a gas giant. It has approximately 1/10 the mass of the sun. 10%.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How much of the
No, wait.
mass of the Earth does it have?
Wait.
Yeah, you thinking about statistics?
No, it doesn't have, no, I'm wrong. It doesn't have 1/10 the mass. It has 1/10 the diameter. It has a lot less mass. Because,
It's gaseous.
okay, so if Jupiter had 50 more times the mass, it would ignite and become a star, a red dwarf star.
Mm-hmm.
And is that possible that's seen throughout the universe? That, there's a gas giant that has become brown dwarf or something? Whatever that you just said.
That's how stars, yeah, they get made. They first.
It just
planets.
depends on the starting material. If there's enough, it makes this. If there's more, it makes that.
Right, but I mean, it could be an outlying or orbiting sun to the sun.
We've been looking for a long time for more planets.
Right.
A red dwarf would have what is called a high velocity compared to the background stars. For instance, a star 500 light years away isn't going to move very much in relationship to us. But a star, because we're all swirling around a galaxy, a star 5 light years away is going to be moving against the background stars. And a lot of times that's the way they can tell, they can get a good estimate of how far away things are. It's like most stars in the galaxy have kind of a general speed, and they follow a general kind of direction, a little this way, a little that way. But we're all kind of just orbiting around. There's a few that are going the wrong way, or they're going way, way crazy out of control this way or that way. It's possible that there is a red dwarf or a brown dwarf, but they give off heat. And we've been looking with Spitzer in the elliptic plane where one of these bodies would be and looking for stuff. We're finding all kinds of stuff.
They haven't seen them?
Well, nothing not orbiting our sun.
Oh, yeah.
There is one in a super wide orbit orbiting Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to us.
Yeah.
3 stars. It's got a sun-like star like ours, a little more mass, a little brighter. It's got a K-type star, which is about half the size and mass of the Earth, or I mean of the sun. It's kind of orange. It's a K-type star, and then an M-type star is a red dwarf, and it has way, way less.
Oh, it's like a solar system with stars, huh?
Yeah. Well, the M-type star is Proxima, this red dwarf, and there's Alpha Centauri A and Alpha Centauri B.
Wow.
So.
What kind of gas is Jupiter made out of?
Primarily hydrogen and helium.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily, like the sun, it's got close to the same ratio. It's got methane and ammonia, which are.
What are you doing?
The party.
Why?
Methane.
What?
Yep. Ammonia. There's a little bit of sulfur mixed in there. Different nitrogen compounds, carbon compounds, organic stuff. Lots of water is in there.
There's air water, or what do you call it? Vapor, water vapor, huh? Or
Yeah.
is it hot? So it's pretty hot then, huh?
Well.
Yeah.
Funny you should ask. Okay, so a few years ago, back in 1995, we sent a probe called Galileo to orbit around Jupiter. It orbited like 200-300 times all over, and it took super crazy close-up pictures of all of the moons, the 4 Galileo moons, all of the farther out moons, a bunch of them. It did all kinds of crazy wide orbits all over the place, and it dropped a secondary probe into the atmosphere of Jupiter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And this and as the Galileo probe orbited around, it dropped this little thing when it was in a wide orbit, so it could get telemetry, and the thing sent telemetry to the mother probe, the mothership, all the way down, and it registered temperature and pressure and gases, and had a little parachute, pressure and humidity and all kinds of stuff.
No
it just
photos though?
No. You'd think they would have taken pictures.
Yeah.
You know, black and white still images would have been nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think. I mean, just give it a bigger processor.
Yeah.
You know, open up the bandwidth on the mothership. I'm saddened that they didn't do that. That would have been great.
They didn't have the technology as much when they
Oh
sent it
no,
out, right?
1995. Of course they had cameras.
Oh yeah.
You know, take a shot, take a shot, take a shot.
How long does it take the probe to get to Jupiter? Like 10 years? I guess not 10 years. I mean, been 10
it
years.
depends. It depends on how you send it.
How long did it take Galileo to get there, though?
Galileo did. It took several years, 5 or 6 years. What they did is they, after the Challenger accident, they made a rule: no hydrazine rocket engines on stuff, because what they were doing is launching probes from the shuttle instead of from rockets.
Mm-hmm.
And they had hydrazine engines, and it's really good fuel, but it blows up really good too.
Yeah.
They figured it wasn't safe enough. Whatever it just wasn't safe
Well,
enough.
they should send it up without people.
Well, just send it in a regular rocket. So anyway, so what this thing did is it it orbited around the sun, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We've sent a bunch of probes to do this. And it orbits real close around the sun, slingshots around the sun. It went around the Earth and did a slingshot around the Earth, and it might have done it one more time until it was up to speed to catch up to Jupiter.
Wow.
And they've done that a bunch of times with a bunch of probes because they didn't have the rocket fuel on the engine to just send it straight there, so they have it do slingshot to save fuel.
So Star Trek 4 A Voyage Home is not fantasy at all, at least the mechanics of
Not at
slingshots.
all.
The mechanics are pretty straightforward.
Hey, let's play the Final Dice game.
Real basic calculus. It might just be algebra, actually.
One, three, one.
I
Oh,
won.
you won with 500
I
points.
won. I won today. I'm a winner. I won last week, too.
Just 500 points. You're on a streak.
I'm on a 2-week streak.
2-week streak. So what's the temperature of Jupiter when they drop the probe?
Okay. So as this probe went closer and closer in, the heat went up. And it got hotter and hotter and hotter. The pressure, the atmospheric pressure built up. It went in kind of a logarithmic thing where it started at a low curve and then it just went up and up and up and up real quick. It hit a layer that was close to room temperature. You know, it was like 50, 60, 70 degrees. The pressure, the surface pressure, the air pressure, was similar to that of Earth, and it had all kinds of water vapor in it. No oxygen, but it was like this little layer where something from Earth could stay if they could just stay at that level. It was a nice temperature, and the pressure was pretty close to that. It was fairly high in the upper atmosphere, but it was this little balmy zone. And then it just got thicker, and the hydrogen and the probe was crushed by the atmosphere because it just gets thicker and thicker and denser and denser and denser until it's a liquid. So, and it made it, I think, 160 kilometers into the clouds of the planet, and the temperature, I think, was somewhere around 200.
Yep.
Yeah, I did a little review because I knew it was Jupiter Day, so I did a little bit of reading because I don't remember all these numbers.
And it got liquefied?
Huh?
The probe?
It was crushed. So the Galileo probe continued flying around Jupiter until it was almost out of fuel. And there was a long discussion about what to do with it because once it's out of fuel, they can't control its orbital pattern. The orbits of the other moons are going to mess with its orbit, and eventually it's either going to crash into Jupiter or one of these moons. And they were really concerned that if the probe crashed on Europa or Ganymede or Callisto, if there was life under the ice, because it discovered that there's a slight magnetic field. All three moons, the three cold moons, all have a magnetic field. And I think Io has a little bit of one too. But this because there are liquid oceans that are rotating underneath these moons' ice surfaces. And if it's liquid water, that means it's warm enough for life as we know it. And they were concerned if this probe crashed hard enough, it would crack through the ice, and Earth bacteria would find a happy place and be an alien species and disrupt the ecosystem there. It might just kill them all or something.
The bacteria survive on the probe?
Yeah, some bacteria, they go into a spore and they can live for years.
In
as
space?
a spore. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they decided to just steer the Galileo probe into Jupiter itself. So the probe went headlong straight into Jupiter, sending a little bit of telemetry. It didn't make it nearly as far. This probe that they sent deliberately in there was super tough.
But could
super tough.
Galileo kept on sending information back even if they didn't.
A little bit as it flew into the planet. I
what if
wish
it
they
was-
would have taken pictures.
What if they didn't destroy it though, and they just let it kind of fly around randomly? Would have it kept sending information?
Yeah, but it would eventually crash into one of the moons. Eventually.
I would have liked them to take the risk of crashing into the moons and sending life out there. But I mean, I guess it would take if we sent bacteria to another planet. It would take like millions of years for it to evolve or something, right? Anyway, if it's
Not necessarily. I mean, you take cyanobacteria, right? It's the blue-green algae of the oceans.
Yeah.
And you just have one. Okay? You put it in any environment that it can survive in, that's reasonably warm. There's food, nutrients, sunlight. You stick it in there, it doesn't matter if it's on a planet or a moon or anywhere else. It'll survive. It'll reproduce.
Yeah.
So.
Humans.
Yeah.
But it took millions of years for anything to, like animals and stuff, right? I mean, just sitting there. But that'd be fun to,
Well,
plant,
evolution is on a million-year time scale. That sort of thing.
Try to plant life on other planets so we can get it to evolve, and then be able to.
It's entirely. Here's the thing. Let's pretend a meteor hits the Earth, and there's already life on it. This is like 10 million years ago when life was abundant on the Earth, and it hits it, and it dislodges a rock, right? That has bacteria in the rock, and it takes 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the bacteria in rock lives a long time. It doesn't die real quick. It lives a long time. And this rock, let's say it crashes into the ice water, through the ice and into Europa.
Yeah.
It may have already have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or that's where life came from in the first place. Maybe.
There could have been life on one of the moons of Europa 500 million years ago. And something hit it, and it knocked off a chunk of ice with a particular bacteria that was just happy in that ice. And that ice goes flying and hits Nebraska.
Yeah.
We established...
Or what was Nebraska 500 million years ago.
Right. We established on the program some months ago that,
Panspermia.
that there were asteroids from like rock from Mars that landed in the Antarctica Antarctica.
Well, they go on an annual hunt every summer.
Yes.
When the ice melts, it exposes meteorites all over the place.
Yeah. So who knows where who got what first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. I mean, what they could do is, let's say we discovered bacteria under the dirt and ice of Mars.
Right.
Because there's water under there.
Right.
So let's say they discover the bacteria. And they look at it, and it's very similar to ours.
Yeah.
Right? It's got DNA and RNA, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This has been here forever, and it's just like us. Well, things evolve over time. Things change.
Right.
And what they could do is they could look at the difference and say its earliest cousin is extremophile. And that would be way the hell's back.
Yeah, that would take some investigative research and probably a generation of human beings in order to catalog that kind of data.
It's the end of the program.
Is it really? Did I tell everything about Jupiter?
There's so much more.
Here's
the spot and stuff.
Here's one for you. Jupiter takes 11 years to go around the sun.
Yes.
The solar cycle is, half is every 11 years. The solar cycle is 22. We get sunspots every 11 years. It's kind of Jupiter's orbit is kind of the same.
Maybe it's causing sunspots, huh?
Oh, and the moons. The moons, for every 4 times Io orbits, Europa orbits twice.
Is Jupiter causing sunspots?
No, I'm not suggesting that. It's just it's an interesting.
Maybe they think that's not something that scientists think.
Well,
that's what I think now.
Maybe the flat earthers think that.
Jupiter's magnetic field is 17 times ours.
5, 4,
Well, that's it for Jupiter. We made it through a whole episode with no phones.
Yeah, look up.
How about that?
Episode number and date and day of the week. Yeah, thanks Dan and Carl.
You're
and
welcome.
Nobody else, I guess. Thanks TVs, Freddie.
TV22.
YDHWM.com. Check it out.
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube when we have them.
360-836-4384. It's Do 08 Dog. The crew goes over on the crew. I'm doing anything if you want, though.
The Earth is 1 astronomical unit
UFO
away
guy.
from the Sun.
Yes.
Jupiter's
TCTV.
5.
McBoo.com.
Wow.
Psycho Feeling. Enjoy to E Fabulous. Thurston County.
Exactly 5.
Washington State.
Almost
USA.
exactly, yeah.
Thank you.
Mars is
Viewers and listeners.
2.5
Hell
times.
yeah, dog.
Woof woof. Phones tomorrow?